What's up, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB Recap. Jackson Holliday is officially on the board, and Baltimore is going to really need their rookie to step up because they just lost one of their best players for quite some time. Bryce Harper and the Phillies are experiencing the slump of all slumps. Wait until you hear how bad it's getting. They took on the Phillies, who almost had another big-time trade, but they backed out at the very last minute. We'll talk about that in a second. And Clayton Kershaw, a lot of people are wondering if the end is approaching sooner than we thought because he had a streak snapped. We'll talk about that as well. Don't forget, everyone, MLB Recap is brought to you by SeatGeek. Use code Fuzzy to save 20 bucks off concert tickets, baseball tickets, any tickets that you can think of. And if you like daily fantasy sports, be sure to download Underdog Fantasy using my code Fuzzy. You'll help me out. You also get some stuff in return. It's a win-win. So the first game of the day, George Kirby is starting us off with a knuckleball. Now, it's not a new pitch. He was just paying homage to the late Tim Wakefield. Pretty cool moment if you ask me because Kirby was a big Wakefield fan growing up. Devers, he's got a double in 3 consecutive games. He gets Massa to third base. Massa, he ends up scoring on the wild pitch. So it's 1-0 Boston, and the Mariners tied it 3 innings later. Dylan Moore singled in Cal Raleigh, and Josh Rojas, he hit that little narrow part of the monster that kind of goes outwards. That's a home run, so it's 2-1. Just kidding. The newcomer, Danny Jansen, he reties it, and he also made a wild catch to make sure that Kenley threw a scoreless 9th inning. Well, I should say top of the 9th, because O'Neill, he could walk it off. Duran's at third base. Colin Snyder got him. He unleashed a yell, so we head to the bottom of the 10th inning. Raphael, he's cool with that O'Neill strikeout because now he can walk it off with a double. The ghost runner rule is so funny to me because that was a leadoff walk-off double. It should have been a 0 RBI base hit, but of course the ghost runner, it's a leadoff RBI. He's got 26 doubles, 24 home runs. He's a generational extra base hit guy. Joey Bart, more like Joey just hit a dart. I'm so sorry, but that 2-run blast went to the train tracks, and now it's 3-0 Pittsburgh. I guess they called Jared Triolo Big Tree. He's really trying to bounce back because he almost had a 300 batting average his first 54 games last year as a rookie. He's been struggling this year. McCutchen, he slapped one to right field, so it's 4-0 Pittsburgh, but that's when O'Neill, Cruz, and the Pirates kind of just unplugged themselves and imploded. O'Neill, he's having a brutal series. Pena's on now after that error, and he scores minutes later on a wild pitch. You guys are about to see deja vu. Another error from O'Neill, Cruz. The ball drops, and then he made a double error. So I think that's 3 errors in 1 inning. Yainer Diaz, he's just that guy. He's batting almost 350 with runners in scoring position. Mauricio Dubon bails out Framber Valdez with a monster. I shouldn't say monster. It's a 2-run home run nonetheless. So we go from a tater to hater. The trio of Brian Abreu, Ryan Presley, and Josh Hader finally threw 3 scoreless innings. Josh now has 21 saves. The Astros, they hold on 5-4, and they avoid being swept. Staying with good teams trying to avoid being swept, the Phillies are in their biggest slump in years. I'm not even joking. Jazz and Judge, they took on the Philly Fanatic before the game. Jazz is sizing them up. Anyway, like I said, the biggest team slump for the Phillies in a while when the guy who doesn't give up home runs allows a grand slam to the guy who doesn't hit home runs. DJ LeMahieu, yeah, you got some big-time problems. Bryce, he had to clutch up, and he missed the fastball right down Broadway. He's 1 for his last 29. Now, Alec Boehm did get 1 in. He grounded out for the RBI, and Castellanos, he loves hitting against lefties, so it's 4-2 when Weston Wilson, he loves hitting lefties. Nestor, he's getting lit up right now. He needs some big-time insurance runs. DJ with another RBI extra base hit. It's a 2-run double. All 6 runs that the Yankees scored were courtesy of DJ LeMahieu, a career-high 6 RBIs. Did Austin Hayes get it? 2 runners on. It's back. It's back, and it's caught. Verdugo with a big-time grab at the wall. Philly, they started another rally. Castellanos, he grabbed another RBI. The bases are now loaded. Mark Leiter Jr., who was just acquired from the Cubs, he needs a strikeout. That's a disgusting splitter. A wicked pitch. Clay Holmes, oh no, that's a leadoff single. Hayes, what about this one? He's got to hit the weight room or he can't forget to eat his Wheaties ever again. He missed 2 home runs by inches, and Bryce Harper is now 1 for his last 30 after ending the game on a double play. Clay Holmes now has 22 saves, and the Phillies do get swept. Now, before we move on from the Yankees, I do want to talk about the fact that they had a deal in place for Jack Flaherty, but they balked after seeing medical review, so they canceled the trade entirely. The rumors were that Nestor Cortez was about to get shipped out along with a prospect or 2, which makes sense because Nestor, he can still throw 94, 95 miles an hour. I think that he would be a great fit with the Tigers, but Jack Flaherty, he's with the Dodgers now because the Yankees canceled, and then the Tigers had a panic, and then they didn't get what they wanted. A weird trade all the way around, not gonna lie. The Dodgers got big, bailed again. They're so lucky. Actually, I shouldn't say Dodgers and lucky in the same sentence because they've been anything but that this year with all the injuries. It's still crazy to me that last year, Jack Flaherty was traded to the Orioles. He ended up being so bad, he was demoted to the bullpen and essentially didn't play in the ALDS, the playoffs. Now he's back to being elite, and he would have been a perfect piece for this 2024 Orioles squad, but with the offense, the pitching doesn't have to be perfect. Ryan Mountcastle, he had a triple, his 5th career triple. Those are really rare. Colton Cowser ran into another baseball, back-to-back games with absolute moonshots. He's got 16 home runs and a 125 OPS plus. Addison Barger, another rookie, his 2nd home run in 3 days. And after the Blue Jays made it a 1-run game, Jordan Westbrook, no, he took 95 to the hand. It's been revealed that he's going to be out for quite some time. I feel so bad for the guy. Maybe Kobe Mayo, a super prospect in my eyes, maybe he's going to get the call because they can't call up Jackson because he's already back on the squad. That's his 1st career home run, a grand slam to the bricks in right field. 110 miles an hour and 440 feet. James McCann, he's still out there. He's wearing that face mask. He doubles ahead of Santander, who then brought home James McCann. Grayson was decent, I should say, because he had a lot of strikeouts, 8 strikeouts. He had 3 walks, though, and 6 base hits, but it was a quality start. Henderson picks up the RBI, and then he teams up with Jackson for the game-ending double play. At first, they called the runner safe at first. They went to replay, ball game. The Orioles keep pace with the Yankees, who, by the way, I forgot to mention the Yankees. They've won 5 games in a row. You guys are about to witness something that has never happened before, at least in the last decade. I still think that Kershaw has a lot of gas left in the tank, but this was one of the first times where I was like, is Father Time tapping on Clayton's shoulders? Campusano, that's the 1st run, and another run scores because Kershaw just bobbled the safety squeeze. Luis Arias, he grounded out for the 3rd run, and Profar, he makes it 4-0. Kershaw has yet to strike out anyone. Pay attention to that. The swing and miss stuff just was not there today. Here we go, a little Dodger rally. Gavin Lux, he doubled again. Nick Ahmed scores. The ball squirts away, and Ohtani said, "Ka-chow, ka-chout." Get it? Like, he's Lightning McQueen. He's off for the races, but he's also out. Sorry. The rally is officially over. We skip to the 4th inning. Luis Campusano, he got to Kershaw again, his 7th home run. 2 more got on for the Padres, and in comes another Profar RBI single. Xander, he then tossed his bat at the ball just to try and make contact. He secures a sac fly. The streak is over. 423 consecutive games with the strikeout. Kershaw, he's out after 3 1/3, 7 runs allowed, 0 strikeouts. And after the game, he admitted that he knew that he was bad. But check this out. Sure, LA got smoked, but Kopech, a little small W for the game. He struck out the side in his LA debut. Great. The rest of baseball is screwed if he gets going. Dylan Cease was great again after throwing the no-hitter. 5 1/3 with 6 strikeouts, just 3 base hits allowed. He's allowed 19 hits over his last 45 innings, which is insane. Merrill, he barely missed a 3-run home run. He and Jackson Chourio have been different since Paul Skeens got called up. Merrill is hitting .310 with 24 extra base hits and 32 RBIs over his last 43 games. The Padres, they're like, what, 4 games back of the Dodgers? Jake McCarthy ain't playing around since the start of June. He's batting .313 with 5 triples. He also has 10 stolen bases over that stretch as well. He scores on the wild pitch, and I just wanted to mention he has back-to-back games of 3 base hits, and he went 5 for 5 a couple days ago. He's seeing beach balls right now. Harold Ramirez of the Nationals, he drove in James Wood, and I will say, James Wood, like, he gallops. It seems like he goes fast A to B, but maybe he gets a little bit clumsy with those choppy strides. I don't know. It worked out for him. Zach Gallen, he was Zach Gallen. 6 punchies with 1 walk. He did come out after throwing 91 pitches over 6 innings. He's in line for the W because Arizona scratched across a 2nd run on a Pavement Smith grounder, which was followed up by Mackenzie Gore being taken out, and Perdomo, he doesn't care about matchups. He singles to left for the RBI, and because he stole second and caused some chaos, he gets the score standing up on this Corbin Carroll flare. Corbin's Whoa. He's got a .345 on base, 20 extra base hits, 11 stolen bases, and an .815 OPS his last 45. He's been pretty good lately. Not with the batting average, but at least he's finding the gaps. What is going on with Paul Sewald? He can't be doing this. That's an RBI double to CJ Abrams, and the dude he can't throw strikes. 2 walks. He's praying in the dugout because he just got relieved by Zach Thompson, who had to bail him out. That's a nice start right there. He strikes out Harold Ramirez, and oh, no. James Wood scores on the pass ball. It was not a wild pitch. They intentionally walk Luis Garcia Jr., which was very smart because now they get to face Riley Adams. He bounces out. Zach Thompson gets his first save of the season, and the Diamondbacks, hold on. They've won 3 games in a row. So if they can get some help from the Twins, they can actually kick the Mets out of a wild card spot. Lindor, he's not about that. He gets a Trevor Larnach, he needed all of that 6'4" frame to rob Francisco of his 23rd home run. Byron Buxton, he was ultra hot not too long ago. He's trying to find that groove again. The dude has 21 doubles, 13 home runs, a 133 OPS plus, and 4 outs above average. He's still top 4% fast as well. I'll die saying that he's one of the most gifted players I've ever seen. What are they feeding this kid? Mark Vientos has 16 home runs and 42 RBIs in 63 games. Look at that. The dad got screwed. He gave the ball to his son, and the son accidentally threw it back. From there, Minnesota got cooking as Larnach, he plays Austin Martin, and I've never seen this before. Alvarez, he just lost the grip on the throw to second base. Kepler, he makes it 3-2, 3 consecutive base hits, make it 4 base hits. Royce Lewis, he was able to sneak it down the left field line as Matt Wallner. This guy has power for days. If you look at his baseball savant, you can see why I say he has power squared, like power to the second power. He goes 442 feet. He has elite exit velocities, bat speeds, xWOBA, all that crazy stuff. Carlos Santana, that'll do it. His RBI extra base hit is our final highlight for this one. So with that loss, the Mets, they fall out of the wild card. They're now a half game back of the Diamondbacks. Oh, the Cardinals did not have the greatest deadline I've ever seen, but they did get better, and they've now scored 18 runs in the 2 games since reacquiring Tommy Pham. Rookie Mile McGrevy, I think it's how you say his name. I really wish it was McGravy. His first strikeout victim is Nathaniel Lowe, and his offense gave him the lead like 5 minutes later as Goldie. He's flying around to score on the Donovan up-the-gut single. Tommy Pham, he's off for home, and he's safe. Tommy brings that competitive edge. I don't think that the Cardinals were lacking it per se, but I don't know how else to explain it. He brings that edge. Michael Ciani dropped down the sack bunt, so it's now 3-zip for the rookie, who's back to painting. I don't know if that was a strike or not, but it was borderline. He's through 3 scoreless, and he set down 10 in a row at one point. Burleson, 2 more R scoring, not just on this swing. Burleson and Pham make it 4 RBIs on 2 swings. Pham has 6 RBIs in his first 2 games as a Cardinal. Brendan Donovan had his second RBI of the night, and Michael McGrevy, again, I feel like I'm botching that name, but he had a fantastic debut. He goes 7 innings, just 1 earned run against the defending champions, the Cardinals. They've won 2 games in a row. They're looking pretty good. St. Louis is right there at 1.5 game back of the final wildcard spot. And remember, it's now 3 wildcard teams who make the playoffs, but St. Louis, they don't want a wildcard spot. They want the crown. They're coming for the Brewers for the top spot in the Central. Skipping to the 4th in this game, the league should be very afraid because Matt Olson's slugging has really dipped this year, but this is when he's at his best, going 400 feet the other way. He's got 3 home runs in his last 5 games. Travis d'Arnaud, he goes back-to-back with Matt, his 11th home run. Really the only 2 mistakes by Freddie Peralta. The strikeout stuff is always there. He had 7 strikeouts over 6 innings, but the Milwaukee bullpen cannot hold it. As Austin Riley, he found a hole on the left side of the infield. 2 actually score. Kelnick scores easy. Witt, he scores from second base. Nick Mears, who the Brewers just got from the Rockies, his first pitch is taken deep by Matt Olson. Make it 4 home runs, his last 5. Did they go back-to-back again? Almost on back-to-back pitches. 3 pitches, 2 home runs versus Nick Mears, so maybe it wasn't a Coors Field thing. That's the 3rd time ever that the Braves have gone back-to-back twice in 1 game. Milwaukee has now lost 2 games in a row, and the Cardinals, they're 5 games back of first place. So if you had a lot of money to bet on one of these teams, who do you have winning the NL Central? The Cardinals, the Pirates, the Cubs, the other teams in the Central? Who are the other teams? The Pirates and then the Reds? Are those all of them? Anyways, not just the NL Central, the AL is getting pretty feisty as well. The Royals, they've now won 3 games in a row, and they own the best run differential in their own division. They torched rookie Drew Thorpe, who is now giving up 14 runs in his last 5 2/3. Maikel Garcia stole 3rd, his 25th stolen base, and Vinny Pasquantino has 70 RBIs. Don't forget he had 0 RBIs his first 10 games of the season. Freddie Fermin, any offense from this guy is just the cherry on top because he's a monster defensive catcher. He's elite at both blocking and throwing guys out. So he's actually better than Salvador Perez defensively. But the Sox, they tied it for a second. When Salvi took over, I think he was the DH in this game. No, Freddie Fermin was the DH in this game. Go figure. He knocked in Bobby in the 3rd inning, and then he drove one to deep center in the 5th. But Fletcher, he couldn't make the juggle catch. That's 74 RBIs for Salvi. He's 115 away from 1,000. He could become the 10th catcher ever to have 250 doubles, 250 home runs, and 1,000 RBIs. The last guy was Brian McCann. Vinny, they watched that ball fly out. He has 72 RBIs his last 95 games. Fermin had 4 base hits, another RBI on that knock. Oh, no, 17. Is this real? Benny strikes out. The Sox have lost 17 games in a row. I'm shocked that Garrett had that demand that he wanted an extension if he got traded. Why would you want to be on this team? Anyways, the Royals, they're in the wild card right now as the 3rd team, just ahead of the Red Sox. Coming up, we have some teams that traded big pieces, but they're still technically fringe playoff teams via the wild card. So the Rays and the Giants, I told you guys yesterday, Morel had another home run, his 2nd as a Ray. He looks pretty impressive so far. But remember, this is a battle of the sea creatures, the Rays versus the Marlins. Jonah Bride went yard off of Taj Bradley. That's his first home run since 2022. Now the Rays, they answer with a Richie Palacios stolen base. He's 19 of 20 so far. Another speedster's at it now. Johnny DeLuca, he's a burner. And what just happened? The newcomer Kyle Stowers, he's already playing for them. His momentum kind of slammed him into the wall, and DeLuca got all the way to 3rd base for the RBI triple. DeLuca, I just want to mention, he does have a cannon, but not a very accurate one at times. Xavier Edward, he gets the RBI sac fly. And Jake Burgers, he ordered a number 2 combo, 3 home runs in the last 5 games. Taj Bradley, over his previous 7 starts, had allowed 4 earned runs. The Marlins, they matched that in the first 3 innings of this game. They call this guy X Xavier Edwards. Is this sustainable? It can't be. He's hitting .341 over his first 57 games. Roddery Munoz had 7 strikeouts. And let me just say this. If Munoz keeps on improving, if Max Meyer comes back and he's himself, if Luzardo comes back, Sandy comes back with vengeance, with the pieces they got at the deadline, I'm not saying that they're going to be world beaters, but Miami, they can be really good come the second half of 2025. I'm just saying. This could be one of the plays of the year if Will Benson can get up there. Nico Horner, he crushed a pitch to left field. Benson, he's like a top 10 athlete in the game, and he almost caught it. He missed it by an inch or 2. Christian Bethancourt, he makes it 2-0 for the Cubs. Now double it and give it to the next. Seiya with the 2-run 2-bagger, his first of 2 RBI doubles. Get on your horse, everyone, because Patrick Wisdom is a run machine. I think that's, 7 RBIs his last 4 games. There's another 2-run base hit. Dansby, he showed off his biggest asset because that defense just does never slump. That bare hand play keeps runners off for Kyle Hendricks. Dansby can't do anything about that one. A 2-run home run off the bat of Jake Fraley, but that's kind of it. It's all good because Ian Happ, he hit a 2-run tank of his own. His 18th made it a fat 8 spot off the nasty Nick Lodolo, who hasn't been very nasty lately. Seiya, there's his 2nd double. That's 7 doubles for the Cubs. Make it 8 doubles. Pete Crow Armstrong, do not let that kid get hot. It's 11-3 Cubs. Bellinger, all right, I get it, Chicago. You guys can score a lot of runs. That 2-run single makes it 13, and all of this success now falls on Shota Imanaga and Justin Steele. If those 2 can lock in for the next month and a half, Chicago, they can be a playoff team. I haven't said this in a while, but Logan spun his web yesterday. Logan Webb, he strikes out Rooker and Langoliers to get through the 1st inning. We're going to skip to the 5th. Both starters, they were actually pretty stingy. The former Giant Ross Stripling, he gave up 1 measly run. Brett Wisely with the sac fly. Just unfortunately for him, Logan Webb's sinker changeup combination was unhittable, and this was a fun play from Abraham Toro. I don't want to make A's fans go without at least one highlight. Logan's back out for the 9th. He missed the Maddox by a few pitches. He tosses his 2nd career complete game shutout in 106 pitches. He's got a 3.1 ERA and a 2.9 FIP since 2021. He is easily one of the game's most underrated pitchers. Snell, Webb, Hicks, Ray, Harrison, Birdsong. That is a disgusting rotation. If the offense picks up, I mean, they're 25th in runs the last month. They could be a playoff team too. Ezekiel Tovar is hitting what since July 9th? He's hitting over 440 now after this triple. That's a 17-game hit streak. Taylor Ward, he was fooled big time on this Chris Bryant bloop base hit, and I'm thinking it's Chris Bryant, so you still have to respect him a little bit, but yeah, that's a bloop RBI. Freeland, he's been really, really good for over a month now. He gave up 1 run all game, a solo home run to Logan O'Hoppe. He got in some trouble in the 7th, but he broke out a dirty slider, so 6 strikeouts, 7 innings, just 1 walk. He's gone 6+ innings with 2 runs or fewer allowed in 6 of his last 7 starts. You got to tip your cap to that. I'm surprised that he didn't get moved, as well as Cal Quantrill. Brenton Doyle, is that over the bullpen? My goodness, he's got 18 home runs. It's a go-ahead home run, and he wins it. And also, by the way, he ends July with a .330 batting average, 11 home runs, and 27 RBIs. Victor Vodnik, one of my favorite names in baseball. He's got 4 saves, and that's today's recap. Hope that you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek as well as Underdog Fantasy. Have a safe rest of your day, and enjoy the web gems.
Left side, Riley got his glove to it, and then it goes to Arcia.
Going to pop up. High in the air, out of play on the first base side, or is it? It is going to be caught in the dugout.
First pitch, bottom of the 8th, and a long one to right center. Jacob Young makes a fat 2.
Center field, Benson.
Going way back with a hop. He makes the
ground ball. Oh, stopped by Joe, and Beeks is there.
And a fly ball hit to center. Perkins is gonna get another.
Chapman's got it down to his knees.